Okay, I'm going to show you how to make fried rice. You can use any kind of white rice. This happens to be jasmine rice from Thailand. And you need to read the instructions on the package because every kind of rice asks for a different amount of water. Some rices need a little oil and a little salt. So I'm just going to take, 2 cups of rice and then I'm going to add the water. Okay, for the white jasmine rice, for every 1 cup of rice, it is 1.5 cups of water. So what I did was I put 2 cups of rice in my rice cooker and 3 cups of water. So just stir that around, even it out a little bit. You might want to rinse off your rice before you cook it. I don't bother to do that because it gets sterilized with the high heat and the steam anyway. But we are going to cook it until the rice cooker pops up, and then it will be ready. If you don't have a rice cooker and you want to use a conventional oven, just a regular pot on a burner, you can simmer the rice for 18 to 20 minutes and then you let it sit for 5 minutes covered. Once your rice is cooked, or you can use old rice that you saved in the refrigerator for a day or two, then you heat up a frying pan with some oil in it. As you can see, I have frozen shrimp in here, a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, and 2 eggs. So I'm just going to scramble up the eggs on one side of the pan while I thaw out and partially cook the shrimp. I usually try to get shrimp that have the shells, legs, and tails still on them because they actually have a much better flavor and texture than the ones that have been peeled. While that's cooking, I have the vegetables over here on the chopping block, and you just get one of these Asian cabbages, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's in your regular grocery section. It's kind of oblong, and it has much better flavor than regular round cabbage. I'm not going to use the whole thing, but I'm going to chop up maybe 1.5 cups, and then you've got the green onions, and I'm just going to chop up maybe 2 or 3 of those. And we also like the bean sprouts, which go in last because you like them to stay nice and crunchy. And I'm actually going to use more than this, but I just put it on here to show you. So while the rest of this is cooking, I'm going to chop up all the vegetables. So make sure you scramble up your eggs and don't mix them with your shrimp or your meat. You don't have to use shrimp. I often use chopped up smoked ham or chopped up smoked turkey. Any kind of lunch meat or anything like that will work. Leftover turkey, leftover chicken chunks from the dinner before will work fine. I actually used 3 of the cabbage leaves, which turned out to be like 1.5 cups. And I used 3 onions. Take a cheese grater and grate some carrot. I couldn't find my grater, so I just used a knife and sort of grated it that way. And after we put all this in the pot, I usually put some canned peas and some canned corn in there and mix it in. You can also use frozen. Take your eggs out of the pan so they don't get soggy and finish cooking your shrimp or your meat. If you're cooking shrimp, don't overcook them. Just cook them till they turn orange, flip them over. When the other side turns orange and they puff up just a little bit, then they're done. Take your shrimp out of the pan, then put about a tablespoon of olive oil and a couple tablespoons of soy sauce. Just put your shrimp over here in a separate bowl, and you can let them cool off and then pull off their legs and the shells if you like, or you could just stick them in the fried rice just like that. Add your rice on one half of the pan and all of your vegetables on the other half, and don't mix them yet. Let them cook for a couple of minutes. Stir them around, but keep them separate. You can also do the vegetables first and then add the rice. It's totally up to you. It depends on how big of a pot you have, too. You want to keep stirring it. Make sure the heat's not on too high because you don't want it to burn. You've got the soy sauce in there and the oil, the vegetables. You don't want to overcook the vegetables. You want a little bit of crispiness in them. Add a little more soy sauce paste, and now that they've been cooking for a couple of minutes, you can go ahead and stir them around. Mix the vegetables in with the rice. I just added about another tablespoon of soy sauce into my rice and vegetables. The eggs and the shrimp have already been fully cooked, so I have taken them out of the pan. And after I get done cooking these, I'm going to re-add them to the mixture, and then I'm going to sprinkle in some canned peas and canned corn. If you're using frozen, you can just put the frozen in with this mixture. And then bean sprouts to top it all off. As you can see, it's looking nice. Brown there, it's starting to smell really good. Just go ahead and add a little bit of olive oil or sesame oil along with your soy sauce to make it the taste that you're looking for. But just do it a little at a time so you don't go overboard and ruin the flavor. You don't want it to be too salty. Okay, so as you can see, I have re-added the shrimp and the eggs, and I just put about 2 handfuls of the bean sprouts. So I'm just going to mix all that in together really well and continue cooking it for about 2 more minutes. And then I'm going to turn the heat on low and it'll be ready to serve. There we go. Try and get that all mixed in there really well. Make sure you don't overcook the bean sprouts because they can stay crisp. Just want them cooked a little bit. If it seems like your rice is cooking too quickly or that it might be burning or sticking, turn the heat down. You can add a little bit more oil or a little bit more soy. That's fine. So I'll just let that sort of heat up for another minute or two, and then we will be done. I almost forgot to add the peas and the corn. I actually found that I ran out of canned peas, and I don't have any frozen peas either. So what I did was I just added the corn and mixed it in. It was canned, so it was already cooked. And there you have it, a really fantastic fried rice. I hope you enjoy it.